This is part 3 of Making Cozy Fall. Today I use the wet on wet technique to make this sweet little leaf and talk about the causes of color bleed. I am right in the middle of Making Cozy Fall, which is to say that I am making the designs the Graceful Baker included in her class, Cozy Fall, that I purchased online. Using a 2 consistency outline and flood, I am doing a little wet on wet, which for me isn't the easiest of all techniques. My icing dries really quickly, and I suspect my climate has a lot to do with that. I always like to show you Grace's cookies so that you can have an idea of what I'm going for. Though I have changed the colors up just a bit. Since our time is short, I thought it best to discuss a different struggle I had making this set: color bleed. Of my 6 cookies, I found the most egregious of the color bleed problems to be with my little leaf here. I'll show you what I mean when we get to the end. Color bleed can happen for a few reasons, and I did try all of the tricks in my bag to avoid this, but somehow it still happened. The most likely reason to have color bleed is because of oversaturated color in the icing. This is exactly why I am so confused about my color bleed problems with this set. I used the Master Elite powders from the Sugar Art, which are super concentrated, so you don't have to use much. I watched a video that indicated a good ratio was 8 ounces of icing to a 1/4 teaspoon of powder. Well, I used 10 ounces of icing to my 1/8 of a teaspoon of color, so one would think I'd have been safe. Definitely not. Another trick is to color your white icing so that it has some color in it already. I do color my white icing with Americolor Bright White Gel, and until now, it has worked great. I'm wondering if it didn't help because the powdered color is different from the gel. Like the physical properties are just different and the powder is too much stronger. Maybe I need to purchase the Master Elite in white. I have Elite in white, but it's for painting cookies. Mental note: add Master Elite in white to my wish list for Santa. The last thing I can think of to help with color bleed is to have your cookie at minimum just crusted over when you add your white, if possible. The drier the cookie, the less chance of color bleed. I wasn't expecting color bleed at all, so I didn't wait terribly long for it to dry. But since the white on this cookie is the final touch, you would think I would have been fine. Take a good look at the final pictures of my leaf and scarf cookies. The stripes on the scarf from part 1, Icing Cozy Scarf Commentary, started out white. I know I haven't provided any real answers to the problem of color bleed in this situation, but I do now have something to work with from my ponderings. See you next time!
Next time on Kuny's Cookie Chronicles.
This is part 4 of Making Cozy Fall. Today, I use a new cookie recipe, add a special ingredient to my icing, and make pumpkin pie.